Hello, so I am so excited for today's video because I'm going to be doing a massive fall and fantasy themed book haul, but there's also a ton of other stuff. Let's just start the haul, shall we? I have the From Blood and Ash series books 1 through 4, but I have only read From Blood and Ash and A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire or something. The white one, I'll put it here. I haven't picked the books up in a while just because I went to Banff for a couple of months, and so I was only reading off my Kobo, and I didn't want to start reading on my Kobo when I did own the physical books. But I am planning on continuing this series, and now I have it completed up until date. I have added 3 more books to that series collection. The War of Two Queens, A Light in the Flame, and A Soul of Ash and Blood. Now, I don't really know what is happening in any of these books. I do believe that this one is from the love interest point of view, and it very much just sounds like the first book, kind of like a Midnight Sun and Twilight situation, and I'm excited to experience that. I do believe that this book follows not the main cast from Blood and Ash, but I believe it follows another character. But I do believe The War of Two Queens is kind of the finale to Poppy and her love interest point of view in their kind of story. So I'm excited to finally have the collection so I can continue my way working through that. Next is a book that I got just before I left for Banff, and that is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I was actually watching Becca in the Books, and she talked about this in one of her videos, and the premise was so amazing. I needed to buy it immediately, and this author's books are just so phenomenal and gorgeous looking. This one, I believe, is these women in this village are getting sacrificed. I think it might be like once a year or something, to this god under the sea. This could be completely wrong. I heard the premise quite a while ago, and I think that she jumps in so that one of her friends or a different woman doesn't have to go in her journey to this place beneath the sea. This is a horrible description of the book. She saves her brother by throwing herself into the water instead. And so I'm very excited to read that. Next book I'm just including here because it's a new book on the house. It's not my book, but I will be reading it soon, and that's Billy Summers by Stephen King. I heard really good things about this book, so I actually bought this for my dad for his birthday, Father's Day, I don't know. For some occasion, this was purchased for him. And I think it's about this kid named Billy. He's a sniper and he kind of wants out of this business, this life, but he has one more like mission he has to do first. And it's just kind of his journey doing that. The next 2 are kind of together. So this is The Trial of the Sun Queen. This was described to me as Hunger Games plus Twilight meet and have a baby. This girl, I believe, goes through these sun trials, and if she wins, she will get the role of queen. It's kind of like a competition book. She's trying to escape the Aurora King. I really need to just start reading the backs of these books because I have no idea what's going on. And so obviously, what is the next book called? So, The Rule of the Aurora King. So the next 3 books are in a series. Daughter of No Worlds. So this girl murders a very powerful man, and now she is on the run. Of course, there's a war, an apprenticeship, and magic. Once again, don't know much about it, but it has a series. So following that is Children of Fallen Gods and Mother of Death and Dawn. Now, of course, it would not be a book haul done right if it didn't include some very, very popular books that have completely taken the internet over. And so the first one is The Serpent of the Wings and Night. So a human girl finds her way in a tournament. I love the tournament trope. And once again, no idea if this is true, but I believe the love interest is going to be a rival, so it's an enemies to lovers. He is a vampire, and I believe that he is also participating in this tournament. So after that is this little novella. This is called 6 Scorched Roses. No idea what this one's about either. The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King is then the second book. But the next book is The Vanishing Half, and this one is about 2 twins who have very just different lives. Okay, one sister lives with her black daughter in the same southern town she once tried to escape, and the other secretly passes for white, and her white husband knows nothing of her past. The book literally says, 2 very different worlds, one black, one white, and this one I got in Banff. All right, to kind of just break it up, I've actually added 2 children's books that I also got when I was in Banff because I like to just pick up cool children's books that I find as someone studying elementary ed. Hopefully it'll come in handy one day. And the first one I have is Cinnamon Bear Comes to Town. And the reason that I got this one is because it's a Jasper story, but all of the locations are places in Jasper where I went to go visit. For example, we have Centennial Park, the Library and Cultural Center, and this is Fort Point. The other one is called A Very Good Day. And this one takes place in Banff. It's also in French, and I do believe that a lot of the proceeds went to some kind of charity. This is My Parks Canada, so it feels very official. And I just love getting to see the locations. Sometimes it's just a little like, if you know, you know. So here you can see Chateau Lake Louise, and you can see that's Lake Louise, the glacier. Also included like some names, obviously, like this would be Johnston Creek. And you can see the sign for Johnston Canyon. So this is a very familiar place for me and Eli, and there's some very cool canyons here. It's very cool to see this place that I got to live in this children's book, and that it's not just like a made-up world. And I'm like, oh my God, I was there. But back to the fantasy fall vibes. This is a trilogy. I don't know if it continues. Also, I don't know what it's about in any way, but this is The Witch Collector, City of Rune. And also, if a series doesn't have a book called City of Rune, is it even a fantasy series? And then the third one, The Wolf and the Witch. Every harvest moon, the Witch Collector rides into our valley and leads one of us to the home of the immortal Frost King to remain forever. Today is that day, collecting day, and I do believe that the main character does get collected. So this is a very well-known book title and probably one of the books I'm most excited to get to. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So witches are destined to be alone and nobody can know that they're a witch. They kind of live in solitude, and oh my gosh, there's these 3 witch children. How did they get to each other? How did they meet? Why are they living together? Oh my gosh. And of course our main character, she's going to become their tutor. There is a cute little romance. It's just described very much as a cozy fantasy, and that was a very popular trend last season. I'm excited to visit this during the right time because it kind of felt like not the book to read during summer. I was like, it needs to be fall or winter or something. So the only book I have read in this haul is going to be Fourth Wing. Very excited for Iron Flame to finally come out, so I can actually properly tell you what this one's about, which is probably useless because who has not read this book yet? Violet, so she is going to be part of the Writers Quadrant, which obviously involves a lot of trials firsthand, just because her mom has put this pressure on her because she is like the head of the writers. She was told to watch out for this guy, Xaden, who is the reason that her brother got killed. And so there's kind of this tension. She's like, oh my God, like if I go in this place, then it's like free game. Like he could just totally come kill her. Highly recommend this book. Now we have Nettle and Bone. So this girl is not getting married off because I believe she's the youngest. However, one of her older sisters did, and her husband is super abusive. So now she has to do 3 tasks for a witch so that she can get everything she needs so that she can come and help her sister. Then we have Book of Azrael and The Throne of Broken Gods. For thousands of years after the Gods' War, the Etherworld has known peace, but soon that will change. Oh my God, the font here is, okay, it looks fine, but it's very blurry. So please, thank you. But soon that too will change. An old enemy driven by revenge slowly builds an army behind the scenes. Temples are being ransacked in search of an item long lost, and enemies since the day of time must put aside their differences if they have any hope for survival. Can't tell you more than that, guys. Like I did no research. I'm so sorry. Curse so dark and lonely. Cursed to repeat the autumn of his 18th year, Prince Ren of Emberfall thought he could be saved easily if a girl fell for him, but that was before he turned into a vicious beast and destroyed his castle, his family, and every last shred of hope. Nothing has ever been easy for Harper, with her father long gone but her mother dying, and her brothers constantly underestimating her because of her cerebral palsy. Then she tries to save a stranger on the streets of Washington, D.C. She's pulled into a magical world. Break the curse, save the kingdom. Classic. And now we have the Hazelwood. This girl goes into the Hazelwood on a rescue mission to save her mother. Finally, we have The Heart of the Sun Warrior. This is actually the second book to a series we don't have the first book of. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me and coming to my fall fantasy themed book haul. It's so exciting having all of these books. Hopefully I'll see you in another vlog very soon. Bye.